All right, guys. So here's some red card analysis with the expert of red card, Burrito. That's me. That's me, guys. That's fucking me. So I just want to talk about all five hills real quick before we even get into this. And so I just want to give the overall gist of the most success on this map, what you need to do to get the most success on this map, and basically break down every hill off the top of my head, like without making any notes about it. So the whole gist of this map, the reason why I think this map plays better than every other map, it's because it's like the more traditional of the rest of the maps. There are some parallel spawns, obviously, like on P3 and P2, but it's like the most traditional map that requires traditional gameplay, anchoring spawns, etc., longer rotations, like, you know, all that stuff. And if you want to break this map down simply, I think the gist of this map is to have a person on the hill and have ARs looking over him. That's like the gist of this map. Or I just have a person on the hill and people outside the hill and no one will get near him. That's like the basic gist of this map. You could say it's the gist of every map. But P1, the goal of P1 in my eyes is control of this outer area. And maybe have a guy watching or like keeping tabs on like the P5 rotation, but majority of your focus should be controlling this outer part. That should be the majority. And something I was confused about, what Cloud9 did off the start is they flipped the spawns off the break and gave them to Ultra instantly, and then Ultra ends up losing them on the P2. So this is just two teams that don't know what they're doing on this map, which is actually insane because they scrim this shit every day. I don't know how these mistakes are happening. Who knows, you know? Who knows if I know what I'm talking about, even though I do. But instantly, you see Cloud9 off the break. And like, I hate this because I feel like I see this a lot from like pro players a lot nowadays. It's like they're like more willing to take routes and get pinch kills rather than just straight like fucking gunfight me, brother, you know? Like, we don't see a lot of head-on chows. Like, there's always pinches. People have to go for pinches even on P1. But instantly, they flip the spawns. Joe Deceive gets a kill, so he wins the spawns for his teams. And Cloud9 loses the spawns that they literally got blessed. They got blessed with the good side. All you got to do here, if you spawn on this side, have a guy towards the hill, maybe a guy going ticket, send two outer. And that's all you need to do. You just fuck play angles, you know? Anchor like the spawns. You have the guy on ticket, have the guy on the hill. The guy on ticket's really just to help him. And then have two guys outer, and they just keep spawning like in the P3 escalator, you know? But instead they gave Ultra like the spawns right off the break, which I was confused about. Very, very confused about, but God, I got to turn the volume down. And Ultra does a good job getting kills, but then here's where Ultra makes a mistake right here. So right now, Joe's just doing a little bit too much, I feel, but he's still looking at a back spawn anyway, but that was a bit too much. That was a bit too much from Joe. So Joe spawns on the hill. If I'm Joe, I'm just sitting on the hill, and I'm soaking time, and I'm depending on my teammates to just get the kills outer. But they also have to anchor back spawn, so I feel like number 4. So number 4 is actually down low. I thought when I watched this first time he was up top, but when Insight turns, you could see him. He's actually like down low. He needs to play his life a bit. If anything, I know something pro players don't like doing sometimes is like just backing off and playing fucking rotos, but I think it's more important for you to secure the back spawns rather than dying here and then you spawn in BS and D and like they have a close spawn. So like, I don't really like the parallel spawns of this map. That's one thing that could probably be excommunicated, but I mean, it is what it is. But all players actually know about this by now. But number 4 dying here does not help. Like, you could say it's a good thing that like Joe pushes out and you get all the kills in the middle, but they got no one on the hill. And now Cloud9 spawns in the back, and yeah, they got these kills, but he dies, and yeah, they have all the trades, but now Cloud9 gets on the hill first, And since Ultra spawns parallel to them, then like the last guys after these guys move up, he's literally gonna get a spawn in mid. You got a free pinch spawn. And now Cloud9 has a good setup. They have a guy on the hill. They have a guy watching all of this, like this shit right here. And then they have a guy mid watching everything. The guy on the hill just has to chill there. So Ultra kind of trolled that. Probably should have backed up. Joe should just played hail and just played for people coming towards him. But that's something like a lot of players don't like doing. A lot of players just like getting rid of the pressure because like they don't invite pressure on like hail gunfights for some reason. Like they don't like doing that. But on a map like this, you just need to soak hail and let them come to you. And just pray the people that aren't in the hill are at least getting some kills, like delaying the push, or keeping some pressure off you. But there's so much spots on this P2 that like Joe spawned on the hill, bro. Just sit there and watch like this hop up right here, you know? Sit there and watch the hop up. And that's all you need to do. And if he like sits there and if he sits there and he's on a hill and his team gets the parallel and they spawn in the back, they basically have a pinch on like the two Cloud9. They have a pinch on the two Cloud9 people, and Insight's there, and he has his whole back, so Insight doesn't have to move. So it could be Insight right there, Joe on the hill, two guys here, and the two Cloud9 guys here. So they could easily pinch the Cloud9 guys and probably keep control of the hill, but they end up losing that right away. Like, this is a map where you just need to, like, fucking get on the hill, you know? This is a map. This isn't like the other maps where, you know, you play more for kills. You just gotta get on the hill in this. And now, I mean, the most important thing of red card that I don't see a lot of teams do, except for like Miami, and now I think Atlanta FaZe caught on, and LA Thieves caught on. There's certain teams that have already caught on. I don't know how everyone didn't catch on. Is the importance of holding outer on P3. I almost kind of want to play a Miami example, but I'm just gonna like save that for whenever like Miami plays again. You're just gonna see him do it. But like, if you want a reference, go watch my Optic versus Miami scrims video when they get to red card, and watch the way Miami constantly, like, they don't even care about P3. P3 is almost like a byproduct. Like, they make sure they have full control of outer before they even push for P3. Like, they send like a Real over and over again on P3, but their main focus is keeping outer. So they have free rotation for P4, which is a money hill when you could get a person under there and you just have to watch crosses. And it's easier to break this hill from outer than it is like fucking behind. So even if they are collecting time on this, so let's say like you have these side spawns and like they have like this side and they're on the hill, bro, make sure that this is secure before you decide to start throwing like 2-3 lives at this. Like, you have to make sure you have outer secure. And something I raged about live was this route by Joseph Deceives. I don't know why he's doing this. So it's a good thing that he's doing this at this time, but I don't know why he's not just taking a full route out to mid, like to go for a pinch. Instead, he takes the whole route outer just to come back inside and go to the same place that his fucking teammate ends up in. And he goes in the exact same. Like, what was the point of going all the way around just to go back to the same spot? You should have taken that route and went outer and flipped the spawns. That's what he should have tried to do, and get the kills and start getting parallels, take control of that so your team has control for P4. That's what he needed to do. But I was mind blown watching him take this full route just all the way over here just to go same spot, and then he gets pinched by Dante and he ends up dying. L route, L Joe, low deceives, you know, like, and Cloud9 held this whole outer like the whole entire time. I did kind of feel like right here they kind of overcommitted like some lives, but since Ultra was in the back, I'm pretty sure they kept them. Yeah, but they overcommitted a lot of lives that hill. Like, they needed a guy like this out here the whole time. But yeah, but they had the spawns for this, and they actually end up getting P4 as well. And now number 3 is like taking a route, but it's kind of too late. Like, Joe should have did it at like the 49 seconds, bro. Joe should have did the 49 seconds. And something a lot of players probably don't know is, like, if this hill pops and you get a close spawn, it actually indicates that there's actually like a guy pushing from this side. Granted, it's a spawn you would get at anyway, but there's a potential that there's a guy on the pitch. If it spawns you like that close to the hill, there's always a guy going to be behind. And so Mac's in a great spot because this is basically the ideal thing. So this is basically the ideal thing when you're going from P3 to P4. You stay outer to get the spawns for P4, but then after, when you have guys on the hill, whatever guy is left at P3 gets these kills. Because ideally, you would love to have all vultures spawning down here. Because here is like, it's like the lower ground. Up here is like high. You got the stairs and everything. All the gunfights and everything are a lot easier on higher ground. So, like, if you have control of this and they're all spawning here, it is actually like a death trap, like where they can't do anything. As opposed to if they spawn on this side with all the cars and everything, and like they have the height. So it's important in an ideal scenario for you to have like this side and have them all on this side. So Mac's doing his thing, getting his kills. So like, I was also confused why when Inside got this kill, he didn't anticipate another person being there. That could just be hindsight, but he just anticipated he was going to get that kill and the other guy was going to be like in mid. With Dante being right here, and while that's happening, Mac is getting all the kills. And notice where all vultures spawning, but it's because like they're blocking this. But like if they weren't blocking this, then all vulture would be down here. But this is ideally like the spawn you want him in. And another thing I was gonna talk about, like right here, Mac needed to get this kill. In the grand scheme of things, it didn't matter because they won this map anyway. But Mac needs to get this kill right here. So when this guy shoots at him, he has height. He tags him. You're at 100 HP. Fly off and get him. Fly off and get him. And now you have full control of this side. And I don't know why he didn't push him. Like, he tagged him and everything. You're going to have an SMG close range. He's right there. It's like a free kill. Instead, he, like, backtracks. He's tweaking. And he gives enough time for, like, 4 to come help him. That confused me. Already had him tagged. You're 100 HP. You push that guy. You actually don't get broken here. But also another thing I feel, once Mac did die and Crump was on the hill and he knew that guys were coming there because obviously Mac called it out, I probably would have like taken like the initiative to slide out and catch a timing, because they're not going to expect you to slide out in Shao, because he probably could have killed number one. Number one would not expect him to slide out, but it didn't really matter because they like broke the hill right back. But that's just like a side thing, to be honest. Then they end up actually getting him off. And they just like trade lives on here, but Cloud9 did get a majority of the time. Ultra should have did a better job at trying to secure the outer spawns as P3 was popped, though. All right, so now going to this P5. I mean, P5 is usually a very mixy hill. Preferably on P5 in a perfect scenario, you want to hold this side. That way you have them all spawning here. Like, the ideal setup is like having them trapped down here, having a guy in ticket, watching out, or just have them pinned down here. Because like down here, spawning down here is like a hell spawn. So that's like the perfect scenario. But we have seen lots of examples from numerous games of teams that have this side, but they're able to push out and they're able to hold this and spawn trap them in BS&D, have a guy watch ticket. But it's harder holding the spawns from this side, because they could come through like the office, they could come through ticket, and they come through this side, as opposed to this side where it's kind of just like here or there. A long route through ticket, easily preventable, especially when you have a guy there. But the thing about this P5 is like Ultra got like 8 seconds and Cloud9 got like 6 or 5. So it's like there was literally over 50 seconds of uncontested, ungot time on this P5, which I think is kind of unacceptable. But at the same time, P5 is a very mixy hill. Like, if you don't have full control of it, but it's kind of unacceptable. But so like here, like you see, like they are having a battle for the back spawns because they want the back spawns. So Ultra wins that fight. So now they got the spawns. It all came down to this gunfire here. If Joe Deceives gets Mac right here, then they basically get the guy out of mid. They have everyone coming through the front. They have 2 ARs now, because I think CleanX has an AR out. I believe.
Through like a wrecking ball. This is about
Yeah,
to be a battle
I believe he
to try to
does.
get this time.
Yeah, Mac is playing hot right now.
Yeah, he does have an AR. So if they get that kill, they basically have mole spawning there, and they probably get majority of this time. But Cloud9 battled their way out, and Joe actually did a good job staying alive in mid here because they were so focused on him. He even like saw the guy in the hill who's prone, but he's like staring at him, which kind of took their eyes off the prize. But then not their eyes off the prize. Jeez, I don't know what I'm saying. But he's just staying alive here. No one's on the time because everyone's just like playing for kills. No one wants to be the first guy to go on the hill and die. And then Joe goes on a flank here. Gets a 3. It doesn't really have anything to do with red card. I'm just going through the whole map. But P5 is usually very mixy hill, but it could be a money hill if you play it right. And then, so we're going to get into P1 where a lot of mistakes from Ultra started happening, which is so confusing. Like, guys scrim this map all the time. You watch other teams play it. If other teams are beating you on it, why are we not like copying what they're doing and implementing it into our gameplay, you know? Thought that was the point of scrims, is like to watch like the VOD back and figure out how we could play this better. So they do like the good thing. They send multiple guys outer because you have to take control of outer. So they didn't do that at bad here, but like right here, Kleenex pops a 2 on like the guy on the door and the guy in the hill. So we're gonna pay attention like to number 1 Beans. So Kleenex gets traded. He did his job. He got 2. So Beans gets this kill right here. And this could be hindsight cheese, but you got nobody on the hill, and you're gonna see both guys start shooting. So 8 and 7 both start shooting right here. So he slides across. If he at least gets 1 or slides out and chows, that opens the door for number 2 to trade him out, and they get both these guys out of here, and they start spawning down there, and they keep the spawns for P2 and have a more controlled setup. But instead, Beans is playing for spawners as opposed to playing for the people right here, which is actually the more important job. You could leave the spawners like the inside on the hill, but after you clear these guys out, you can easily peek back through the door and get the spawners. They have to come all the way up the escalator and walk through. Takes a certain amount of time. Like, I would help clear outer first, but instead he was one shot too. He was one shot too. Like, if he pushes out at this point in time and even just like keeps number 7 occupied, 2 could actually get 8, but he turned back instantly, like, because he's like, oh fuck, I gotta go for number 7. Because he just killed Beans, and all of a sudden they're tweaking here and they end up dying. And then here with 21 seconds left, all of them spawn PS and D, and not one person right back to outer. Everyone started going through on a pinch. I don't know why, except for number 3 obviously, but I mean, I don't know where everyone else is going with 15 seconds left. Fuck, P2's about to pop, and we're giving Cloud9 spawns. So confused. So confused why this is happening. So confused why we're just gifting them for free spawns. I'm so confused. That was just like, it made no sense to me. It should have been multiple people going back around. Like, number 2's literally doing nothing at this point. Went back through ticket just to go back around. Okay, and then he walks right into everybody. Yeah, you're dead, you're gone. And now Cloud9's got them all in like the blender. And now this is like a minute and a half of just Cloud9 just cleaning them the fuck out. Like, this right here's a prime example of just have a guy on the hill, have everyone outside slang. Even when Ultra gets like the flip spawns, like they're fully aware of it because they have a guy pushed up mid. Like, they're fully aware of it. Ultra's in the time for like 2 seconds. Now the spawns flip, all in the back now. And this poor Ultra team couldn't do a freaking thing for like a minute, bro. Just a minute of getting torched. Like, they are in the red card blender right now. Like, take a look at that. Can't do a thing. Can't do a thing. And then, like, they try to go through, like, the outer, like, to work P3. They're already on it. All of them dead off rotation. Every single one dead off rotation. Now they have them all spawning in the back, which is what you want. But Cloud9 did the exact same thing that, like, Atlanta FaZe did when they're playing, like, LA Thieves on Hacienda Hardpoint. They got overzealous, you know, they're up 200. And this is where Cloud9 let the game get close when they could have kept full control going into P4 and closed it out there. Instead, they trolled and it went through a P4, a P5, and a P1. Like, they could have ended it on P4, but they got a little bit too overzealous. So exactly like we talked about before, holding the outer spawns. That's what you got to do. They have them all spawning in the back now. I don't know why he's staring behind. You got all 4 down, so they're all going to be in the back. Right here, just over committing. Like I think like the last guy off spawn, Dante has to just hold outer. Like instead, all of them keep just flooding the hill. I know I always say when you're this close to the victory, hit the hill. But like this scenario where we're on P3 where you could easily hit the hill from the front. You could actually, and you have such a big lead, 130 point lead, basically. Like, bro, just hold outer. But like instead, like they overcommitted too many lives and they ended up losing the spawns. And Ultra actually is able to get P4 off of it just because they flipped the spawns. Overcommitted too many lives. Like Dante off spawn here has to go back outer and block the spawns. He should not be flying in. And there's still 38 seconds, so everyone that dies on the hill, you keep giving them outer spawns, they fuck throw nades. Hill's easy to break. Hill's easy as fuck to break. It's not rocket science to break at all. It's pretty much a bang out. There's not much cover. They have to play a corner. A guy could just play like on the stair heady, like not really anything crazy. But instead they lose like the spawns and Ultra's able like to bounce back with like a pretty good P4 hold. Yeah, when you have an 130 point lead, just stay composed and hold like the spawns, and you actually ended on P4. Because they probably end up breaking Ultra at like 30 or 25 seconds at P3, and like they get like a lot of the scrap time, and they have P4 rotation, and then they can just close it out because Ultra just has to fly in, and they have all the crosses. So they definitely could have like played that. Definitely could have played it better. They overcommitted lives, and they made this game way longer than it should have been. They were not time respecting at all, any of us. They try to use the streaks to break, but this hill is like, this hill is very hard if the other team has like complete control of outer. And like, right here, I mean, you could say you got a blessed spawn, but in terms of red card, if you play this map enough, it's actually a pretty readable spawns. So they get Jodeci's off of P2.
Why not? Okay.
They should know that their teammates are over there, unless obviously they're both blacked out. But like, you know, your teammates are down there, so you're basically blocking that spawn. Realistically though, the guy should be spawning in there. I'm pretty sure like the next guy spawns in there, but there is a chance a guy could get that deep spawn because it is a spawn you see if you've watched scrims or VOD. It is a spawn that happens when like you don't get there fast enough, you don't block it fast enough. So you're gonna see like as like they move up and now like they blocked it, you're gonna see where the other guy spawns. He spawns in there. Like they didn't get there fast enough, so there's still a chance for a guy to spawn there. But that's just like something you won't know unless you play like the game a lot, but they do play the game a lot. So yeah, so now Cloud9 just can't get anywhere near this hill, all because they gave up like the P4 rotation to overcommit like the P3 when they didn't really have to. And they could have overcommitted P3, but they needed to be responsible about like the spawns. Like a team like Miami, like waits until they have like the numbers spawning outer, and then they start pushing P3. But they always keep outer control. Cause like that P4 could get you back into any game, bro. Like a good P4 hold could get you back in any game. But now Ultra, but now Cloud9, they trolled like the P5, or like they trolled the P4, But now they're gonna get a majority of this P5 hold right here.
Good comms to his teammate to win time first.
So like they're on like the bad side, but they're still able to make this work. Like they have number 6 on a pinch, they have 8 on the heady, and 7 off spawn is going to pick up like this, and he already gets that kill. So they basically have full control. Now Ultra has to fly out at them. So like this is an example of being able to hold like the hill from like the bad side. But it is a lot harder though. It is a lot harder. That was a bit of an overchill, but I mean we're not gonna critique that too hard. But they got good time on it, and they made this go into a P1. I was like, dude, if they just didn't show like the P3, P4, then you know like they actually would have been chilling. But it is what it is. It is what it is.
Looking for that next hard point. Here we go, folks. The game's not quite done yet. C9 within spitting distance of the win. Ultra with a presence through the middle of the map. Can they contend with the next wave of C9 players?
Well, Max the man leading the.
I think Ultra has a pretty good setup here, but I don't know what number 4 is looking at. He's actually looking like for Casper or like some shit. I don't know. But like now they're literally so close to win, but like they're close to the win, but Ultra could technically still come back if they like hold like a flawless hold here and they have rotations of P2. Like they actually could get it, but they just like die on outer. Like the second like they die on outer, this opens up like the floodgates. When you don't have any like control of outer, it's incredibly hard. And that's like basically all she wrote right there. But right there was like just all timings. Like after like the first guy was gone. I already missed it. Holy cow, I did. Like he's in a good spot too. Like Joe's in a pretty good spot. He does not predict the guy to go up top, so that's all credit to Attach right there. All credit to Attach right there, like for taking that extra route. And then if you're on P1, you have no control of outer, bro. That shit's so hard to hold. Shit is so hard to hold. And they were just cooking them, bro. Like that, like P2 to P3, like that last P2 to P3 was a blender. Was a blender. And now just Cloud9 has a pretty good setup. Like they have the guy on the hill who basically has all of like the pinch. They have 5 who's basically watching the spawners right there. And then you have the guy in mid who has the cross, and then you have number 6 who's like right beside Mac right there. They have everything covered, so it's actually a really good setup just to close the game out. And they're able to close it out. That was a good red card like from Cloud9. I mean, but if they probably play a better team at the map, it probably goes a different way. But they played Ultra, who played this map like once, like once in like an actual real game. So yeah, Ultra thought they were slick. Ultra thought they would be able to test their map pool against Cloud9. Oh, Cloud9's been playing bad, so they're like a dog shit team. Yeah, no, that's not the case. Like this is a map that you test against like the Falcons, but I mean I don't blame them for testing this. I mean they're probably still gonna make like the winners bracket anyway. You just have to win like 2-3 games nowadays. But yeah, but they kind of trolled on the vetoes. Like they decided to allow this map in because they thought they could take Cloud on it, which I mean I don't mind because it is a good test because it's a good team. You're gonna get a good rep on it, but it looked like they didn't know what they're doing on the map. Like didn't look like they didn't know what they're doing. And the reason why the game got close is because Cloud9 basically gifted them back like the P4 spawn. But yeah, they kind of yeah, if Cloud9 didn't gift them the spawn, like they actually get a 100-point club on red card, which is crazy. Like with the people they have, I don't know. Like it doesn't seem like they should be getting a 100-point club on like this map, and it's a fundamental map, so I assumed they would be a lot better on it, but apparently they're allergic to it. Hopefully they're able to get better at it. Hopefully maybe they learned something from this video and they implemented it into their gameplay, because yeah, they got to get better at red card. Like they need red card in like their map picks. It would help broaden their map pool drastically.